your videos there. That was pretty cool.
I'm way back then.
Yeah, and some of the interviews that some of the people had done who've been there
Yeah.
and did those interviews. So it looks beautiful, good. And we're on live here at Just FM. Thank you for tuning in. This is Deb. Hello, hello, beautiful people. Welcome to justfm.ca here in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. I'm here with my lovely guest, Susan. Are you going to help me
Rebow.
Rebow. So what nationality is that last name? It's just such a unique
Filipino.
name. Oh, Filipino.
Yes.
Fantastic. So anyway, we're going to be talking about, I'm doing a series on the chakra, and so today we're going to focus a little bit on throat chakra. So I've got my calcite for the blue throat chakra, and we're just kind of going to go about just a few of the things that Susan is doing here. So first of all, I'm just going to ask if you could just introduce us, if you could just introduce yourself to our listeners. And we are live on Just FM today and Just TV and YouTube.
Thank you for having me, Deb.
You're welcome.
Susan Rebow from the island of Maui in Hawaii, where I've resided for the last 43 years. Originally from Lethbridge, and it's very nice to come back here and check in with the beautiful spiritual community here and be able to share and meet people like Deb and many others here. And I do a lot of different types of spiritual work. I'm naturally clairvoyant. My passion is energy work.
Yeah, energy work is fun. Yeah.
And being a seer, I love to be able to see the energy. And I'm certified in many different things. I'm a Reiki master. I do polarity. I do kinesiology.
Some
I have
of
a
these
lot
things
of
I do not know. We're going to get into those.
Right. But basically, I like to channel information and help people to help themselves and to help others on the planet.
That is just an amazing gift to. How old were you when you realized that you had these gifts?
I was actually pretty young. I was about 5 years old when it became very apparent to me that most people weren't like me.
Right.
My grandma used to say, "You better shut up or they're going to lock you up and throw away the key." So
in them days, they kind of did stuff like that, though. If you had to be very careful when practicing spiritualism. I think it's a form of spiritualism because
exactly.
But I know my dad might have did say, you're on the shortcut to hell if that's what you're gonna do. But my mother was always supportive, so I was lucky that that's something I got to be part of since I was 5. I was never told they're gonna lock you up. I was told, draw pictures, because I couldn't write, because I wasn't old enough to write out my stories in my dreams. But I could draw the pictures. Yeah, so that's really great. And it's always fun to meet somebody who's got that life experience too. That experience of knowing their whole life has been really basically in service, I feel like.
Yeah, that's what it came down to. I tried to do many other types of jobs, like be a nurse. I couldn't do the math, and be a business manager, couldn't do the math. So I had to really look and say, well, what was my divine purpose on the planet? And I feel I was given the gift of sight to help others.
Right. It's an amazing gift. I know I've been a participant in some of the things that you do, and I was absolutely amazed. So when I had the opportunity and it just came to me that you could come here possibly and be on my show, I was absolutely thrilled. So thank you again for being
I'm
here.
Honored to be here.
So, if you don't mind, I'll just kind of dig into the questions and we'll start doing that. And okay. So first of all, I'd like to know a little bit about your history and who you are and where you're from. And you said you were from around Lethbridge. So
so I was born in Lethbridge and raised in Barons, where Deb lives, and then to Noble Ford, or maybe the opposite, and then up to Bonnyville, up north.
Oh, really?
And then to Tabor for a few years. My father was in the Department of Education. We moved around a lot as he climbed up, and then we settled in Lethbridge when I was 11, and so that would be something years ago. I'm 63 now. So,
And proud.
yes, I'm proud of that. And my family still lives in that same home in
Mhm.
Lethbridge.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you get to come home to Lethbridge.
Yeah,
It is home.
and that's how I started coming, back here and then
Mhm.
getting to meet people. My brother came here and became a massage therapist at the Medicine Tree Healing Arts Center.
Oh, the
And
Medicine Tree. Where's that at?
And that's on 9th Avenue South.
9th Avenue South. And what's his name?
Gene Percival.
Gene. Well,
Yeah.
look him up if you're around.
Oh, actually, he's up in Canmore now owning
Oh,
a
good.
restaurant, but he was a therapist here, and that introduced me to back into the spiritual community in Lethbridge.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a huge community here
There
of
is.
spiritual people.
Yeah.
I kind of just got back into it myself. I was gone and I studied in Calgary mostly for 10 years, the
Oh.
last 10 years. And I've just this year started coming back into Lethbridge and finding the power and amazing people.
Amazing people
Mhm.
here.
Like people are so open and I know myself when I was a teenager, I went to the Victory Christian Fellowship Church, and it was eye-opening to see how people could be healed. I seen people healed.
Yeah, miracles do
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You've seen it, I've seen it.
Yeah, that was I had been in car accidents and had a broken back, and I could barely walk. Had just given birth to twins, identical twins,
Oh my goodness.
and I was healed overnight. Just healed.
Oh, I got chicken skin in your
So I, how, I mean, not only do I believe in it, I like believe in the fact that people can be instantly
Instantly
healed
healed.
once, they express the faith, really. Express it, if they have faith in healing, they will be healed. And, well, I didn't grow back any extra limbs or anything, but I'm
Well,
definitely
and actually,
livable.
I've met a lot of people who have no belief in this and are
Mhm.
instantly healed.
That's cool, okay?
Yeah.
'Cause then they have to
I
start
just
to
had to
think.
add it because they're like, oh
Yeah.
my God, my pain's gone. Like it miraculously
Yeah.
disappeared. And I've almost had more experiences, a lot of non-believers having
Mhm.
phenomenal miracle types of healings.
Wow.
And then a lot of people that expect it maybe,
Mhm.
So I
think
guess
if
there
you
is both.
expect it too much, that you're
Yeah.
relying all of your cookies on it, and oh no, this happened and it's going to happen. It's like you're forcing it, and I don't think that's the way to go either. It has to come naturally. I think, yeah.
And they, my belief in healing is it's going to happen like that. If it's going to happen.
Yes.
And I think that's a triune between the
Mhm.
healer, the divine, and the person.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
if they're
And
ready
if
and
it's-
willing.
Yeah, and if that sets itself up, there
Mhm.
can be that instant healing.
Mhm.
And who knows if, how that really works, right?
Mhm.
Because we can't say,
Yeah.
ever.
It's-
Yeah.
Well, we can sort
We
of
don't
see
see
it.
But we
can
can't say
sort
what
of
the
see that
outcome
energy.
might be. I
But
totally
you might be
agree,
the
yeah.
only one that's seeing that energy coming in.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
right.
I can see when we're doing energy work, and if somebody's working on somebody, I can see the energy going around them, or the colors, or what's going on.
Yeah.
So I find it awesome to watch people being healed. But also, if it is quite funny when people who are not believers, who've had sciatica nerve for like 4 or 5 years and are limping, and they walk away going, where did it go?
Oh, yeah.
You
They're almost in disbelief. And often a lot of people have miracle healings and they invite it right back because,
they keep
they-
talking about it.
well, and they can't accept that they're healed.
Yeah.
See, often pain and illness serves people in different ways.
Mm-hmm. It does.
And when you take that away, some people don't really want to heal.
It's strange. It's because they've become so accustomed to their situation,
Yeah.
where that if they were to get better, they would rise above their situation, and that seems fearful.
And they wouldn't have the same identity or
I think so.
victimization.
Yeah. I know myself. I struggle with that because of my handicap, and that it's now nothing is ever easy. Like every single day
It's challenging.
is a challenge.
Mm.
Like even to come here it's a challenge for me to
Get up.
to
discipline.
get up and do those things. But I do it because I feel that Spirit wants me to, and I want to help with the transition.
Great.
So that's what That's what I am doing here on Just FM.
There we go.
I am helping with the transition by bringing in professionals week after week to help us with our spiritual, emotional, physical, dietary journeys in life, and just trying to help people realize, even if you only get one step closer to your own dream from watching the show, that makes it reasonable for me to be here. And if it only helps one person, maybe there's one person that's watching and something during the show affects them, that they understand where we're coming from, which is, the mind is very, very powerful, but spirit is infinitely powerful, is what I believe.
That's a beautiful way of putting it.
Yeah, spirit is infinitely powerful, and if you can get a piece of that and start telling yourself that you believe that spirit's here going to help you, and that good spirit, white light, is a good thing and it's real, then I think you have a better chance of finding what it is you're meant to be here on this planet for. I think a lot of people are looking at that right now.
A lot of people are looking at divine purpose.
Yeah, divine purpose. That's the words we're looking for. So you did spend a little bit of time in Barron's. I think that's neat because that's my hometown.
Yeah, so anyways, get back to that. I moved to Hawaii at a very young age of 17, and I've been there
17.
About 17, right when I was turning 18, but I've been there ever since. And one thing I love about Hawaii, it's a total melting pot for spirituality, different cultures, and people in Hawaii have maintained their cultural and religious and spiritual beliefs.
Wow.
And I think that's what made it easy to fit in there, because nobody judges whether you're Buddhist, Christian, whatever.
That's nice.
Yeah, and people come together on all different types of those things, and they're just together, and they promote, beautiful healing festivals.
And their beautiful dance and music.
Yeah, dance and music, and a commonality. I've been there for many years, and it used to be, a lot more racist towards the white people, than it is now. And I see that everybody is growing and evolving out of those things to realize that we are all.
Would you almost put that as shifting?
Shifting, that's a really good way.
Yeah, because I think ever since the 2012 thing that happened and everybody said, oh, nothing happened, I think, if you're following astrology, stuff's happening.
Yeah.
It isn't this is not not happening. This is definitely, planets are affecting us and people are awakening. Yeah. And that's good, because I think we're getting to the point in the earth where we're all going to have to just accept everybody.
Yes.
Everybody.
And that's kind of the point I was coming to too, that so excuse me, cultural in Hawaii and interracial marriages is totally common. There's hardly any pure bloodlines at all over there anymore. And I think that's fascinating, and I think that's a great outlook on life, that we are all the same.
Yeah.
We have different cultures, we have different lifestyles, but
our spirit is still the spirit that goes within.
Spirit is spirit.
Yeah, spirit is spirit. It's a little white ball. It doesn't really have color. It just carries all of your essence with it, and I don't think it matters to me, or it should matter if you're whatever color you are, or whatever race or religion you are. If you're good to me, then I'll be good to you. I mean, and I think that's the way it should be with everybody. Treat people good, and everybody should treat you good back, and that would be fair. It doesn't, and take all of the racism out of it, I think is necessary. So you said you were about 5 when you realized you were gifted.
Yeah, when I was little, it'd be when the family was going to transition or pass over to the other side. I knew that. Ooh. And I thought everyone knew it,
That's how my sister is.
Yeah. In my visions as a little girl, I would see a bench and all the ancestors would be sitting on them. It still happens to me to this day.
I see them on a bench too.
Yeah. Oh, I got chickens. That's a good validation.
I get them on either side.
Yeah.
Depending on if it's their mother's side or their father's side.
Yeah.
The bench.
And then all the ones that have transitioned would be on this bench, and they'd have a spot there for the one that was coming. And so I would, say things, and people would be like, "You shouldn't say that," but then it would happen, So you never knew whether really to feel bad or feel glad that you knew.
Well, I think that nobody wants to hear bad news, but if you can emotionally be prepared, I think,
or understand this,
you would understand that this is just part of life.
Yeah.
You know, that it's more being able to transition and become part of life, and to move over and, you know, let new babies come in.
There you
know?
go.
I think that,
Yeah.
you know, I was watching a thing just this week on Elon Musk, and how he was saying that people aren't having enough children these days because
Come to Hawaii, they don't know when to stop.
Just kidding. Well, in North America, Elon Musk was saying, you know, if we don't keep having children and only have one, there's going to be an economic collapse, because there's not going to be the amount of young people to take care of the amount of old people. And there's lots of room on this planet, so I don't think we need to depopularize or anything quite yet.
Yeah.
But I think Elon Musk is a pretty smart guy, and if he says go have kids, go have kids. Yeah, that's what I think anyway. So I think.
And they are so incredibly special. I'm lucky enough to have 10 grandchildren.
Wow.
And 7 on Maui. And they're very active in my life. And like, here's an example. If you do have grandkids and you're driving around and they're bored, we play I Spy with my third eye.
Oh, fun.
Instead of I Spy with my little eye, which could be your third eye as well, you know. So
Yeah.
we'll drive,
We
you know,
play that all
like
the
5
time
or
together.
6 of them in the car, and you know, it's a journey somewhere, and it keeps them occupied, and they each get their turns, right? I Spy with my third eye.
Cool.
You know, and when they're not happy children, or they're fighting amongst each other, I give them meditation spots, and they have to go in their special spot and sit and listen to what the divine tells them.
Wow.
And it's so cool, out of the
That's so
mouths
amazing.
of babes, you know, to see what they will come up with.
They're so innocent.
Like, God
and-
told me I have to stop eating candy. Or, you know,
Oh, that's sweet.
the divine told me that I need to be nicer to my little brother, you know, or I need to stop crying over them. And the things they come up with are just beautiful, and they're for themselves. And you know, they were listening.
Mm-hmm. And that is
Something.
just amazing, I think, to teach children from a very young age. And I always like to
Yeah.
mention a little segment on parents be nice to your children if they're weird, you know. You know, if they think that, if they seem to have something that's a little bit special,
Yeah.
they're seeing things at night, they're waking up with dreams, they're, you know, hearing maybe someone else is in the room, they get sensations, their knowingness. They seem to be really, really smart, and then you check them out and yes, they are smart. Some parents find that annoying, that their kids will tell them off because the kid feels that they're right, but the kid is right.
Quite often.
Yeah.
They certainly are.
So, and this is like stuff that they think the kid should know nothing about. He had no idea. I think it's time that we start listening to our kids also.
Well, you know, they're coming in, like, to me, they're on a new frequency, like the computer frequency. They're coming in at a very high frequency.
Yeah.
And I notice, like, even when unfortunately, a lot of mothers will hand their cell phones to little children, but, you know, they're 5, 6 months old going dee 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 dee. So I'm like,
Wow.
Because, you know, almost like, but they're coming on such a different frequency. You
Yeah.
know? And you
That still
figure,
frightens me about having young children with.
oh, no,
Like-
I'm not agreeing to that. I'm
No,
just saying
yeah.
they're certainly on a higher frequency. So these are the people that will run our planet when we're gone.
Right.
And we want to give them the best tools and knowledge that we can in all aspects of the life.
And it also is a defense too, like, you know, to be protective by teaching them to listen to their third eye, listen to their instinct. And that's what my dad always taught me too, you know, listen to your instincts. Because, you know, if you're having a dream and it says you're going to have a car accident, and then you go right out onto that road and
yeah, like,
have a car
pay
accident,
attention, yeah.
well, whose fault is it? And then Dad would say, I dreamt, you know, I told you. He'd phone me in the morning, don't go down that road. I don't care.
And you go.
And yeah, I learned to listen.
Yeah,
Like
the hard
16
way.
car accidents
Oh,
later,
my
I learned to
goodness. Oh, my
listen.
goodness.
Oh yeah, I totally listened to his guidance. I know my dad died in '93, but I still listen to his guidance, because if something's threatening me,
Yeah.
like a car accident or something is threatening me, he'll come in and make me feel safe again. Like he'll come in for a visit and tell me, don't worry about it, we've got it, and then I worry about other things, I guess. Yeah. So, what was your first miracle? The one that made you go, wow, I am not the same as all the other kids.
I think it started with pets when I was young.
Mine was with a pet too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because I knew like a couple of pets were really ill, and I would just lay my hands on them, and they would be okay.
Hmm.
You know, I always felt that I've had telepathic communication with animals,
Oh yeah.
and then being, you know, judged as being as different,
Hmm.
I trusted animals more. You were safer with them. They wouldn't, you know, it was
Tell
kind
your
of
stories.
an unconditional type of love, you know.
Hmm.
And so I think I started with animals, and then with people. I mean, I started originally working on my friends, right? When I started really getting into spiritualities in my early
I have friends
40s.
that I learned something new, guinea pig.
Yeah, yeah. And they would be like, or I would say things because I would hear or see pictures,
Mhm.
and I would run it by them and go, "Oh, you didn't tell me that." And you're right. We didn't tell you that, but it's true. So
Mhm.
I got good validation from my friends, and I mean, I've seen so many like physical ailment, truly miracles.
Mhm.
On Maui a few years ago, a lady friend of mine came. She was 90 years old, and she came up the stairs. I had a high steps up to my office at the time, which I've now left, but she could barely get up these stairs, and she loved her reading. And before she left, she goes, "You know, I'm really afraid to go down your stairs." And I said, "Well, let me just do a little healing on you." It was just energetic work. I didn't touch her. I scanned her body, played a little bit, maybe 10 minutes. She stood up. She walked down the stairs, and she said, "You know, Susan, I've had neuropathy in my legs for 30 years, and I'm not diabetic, but I've had neuropathy.
Hmm.
And it's gone." And I thought, she's getting a little temporary fix. Well, it has been 4 years now.
Wow.
And
Just remove that blockade.
yeah, like instantly, you know.
Mhm.
And she's an amazing woman. She came a couple weeks ago. She's 92 now, and she brought her her son who's 72 and his daughter who's 20.
Mhm.
You know, just an amazing family. And she levitates, like in all my years of doing this.
I've tried.
And I thought, okay, so, you know, so she stopped coming to me actually for a few years because it was freaking her out. Like, she'd lay on my table and she just starts like this. And then, so the first time she goes,
That would be
"What's
fun.
happening?" Well, I was as scared as her. I ran over and I slammed her back down on the table, and she's like, "What's happening?" I said, "I really don't know." And so she came like 2 weeks ago. Excuse me, and I thought, well, the first 2 minutes it wasn't happening. I thought, oh, okay, maybe we move through this because it's kind of uncomfortable,
Right.
you know, for her. She
To be
started
floating.
yeah, and she started levitating again. You know.
Mm. Well, I
Yeah.
think that she must just be at a spiritual level, and her spirit's just ready to go.
Well,
It's ready
that's
to live.
what I told her is that I said, and she says, "Well, you know, I pray every day and I lift my hands." And I said, "I think your connection to divine is that strong." that-
Yeah, that is beautiful. I know that
Yeah.
levitation's was in my family too, that they used to do it regularly just for, you know,
Wow.
farcing fun.
Yeah,
You know,
amazing,
watch this,
yeah.
I'll pick this table up.
Wow,
And yeah,
yeah.
so levitation is something that I want to look into too, because
Yeah.
I you know, tried jumping and I always come back down. But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's always these
no, back on the ground.
unexpected things with the unexpected people.
Yeah.
And like with cancer,
Mhm.
honestly, I've had really good luck with a lot of people in cancer.
Yeah.
And the fact that it would go away and not come back. You know, and I have about 10 of those type of stories.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is
Yeah.
amazing. I just got news yesterday about a friend of my son's. She has cancer, and it was she's only maybe 20. So yeah, it was pretty devastating. But my attitude was that hey, this is one thing for us to fight and one thing for us to beat.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
I'll work with her with that, and I feel pretty confident for her. She has a thyroid cancer. So I think the
Oh, okay.
rates of conquering that are pretty high.
Pretty-
I think
yeah.
it's around 95
Yeah, it's pretty good.
recovery rate, so I'm pretty good with that. So I'm wondering, when you have, since we are kind of thinking about the throat chakra, if you're having problems within your throat area, like say getting a cancer or getting, you know, the cough, can't breathe, Do you believe that those could be blockages that are spiritual blockages and why people are having this? Because I think so.
Yeah.
I think when you have pain in your body, it's because of something
I agree 100%.
that's external,
Yeah.
or something that's maybe even past life, or something that could be from.
Yeah, it seems to me it starts out here in
Yeah.
the non-physical, then
Mhm.
it gets into the mind, and then the mind gets it into the body,
Right.
right? And then that's where dis-ease comes in.
Right. And it starts
Disease,
looking-
whatever, you look at the word itself, whatever
Mhm.
you're not comfortable with.
Right.
The word disease, disease.
Dis at ease. Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, and especially problems in that area.
Mhm.
Yeah, communication.
Yeah.
Communication is so huge and so hard for most people to speak truth for so many reasons. They'll be not heard, condemned, hurt even.
Mhm. They
you
might
know?
regret it.
Yeah, might regret it or be
Embarrassment.
Yeah,
Um,
put down, cut down.
yeah.
rushed
Or either
around.
that, or they just plain been suppressed
There you
and
go.
told most of their lives, just shut up, sit down.
Yeah,
And if I want to talk to you, I'll let you know. You can
Yeah.
talk if you want to talk to me. Now that's extreme, but it happens,
yeah,
and it happens here, and it
Yes.
happens around, and it's not with just one culture. It's
multicultural.
yeah,
Definitely.
and in
Yeah.
Canada, I like the idea that we should be able to speak freely and openly and be able to express who we are with happiness and honesty, and not be punished for what we're thinking.
Or
you know,
speaking.
or
Yeah,
speaking,
yeah.
right? But especially not punished for what we're thinking. You know,
Especially.
but to judge people upon because they don't listen to what you're listening to, I think that's a little bit not Canadian.
Well, like we say in Hawaii, what works for one doesn't work for all.
yeah, okay.
You know, the
So
shoe fits.
that's
wear
how that's how it's seeming like it's changing here. I used to feel
Yeah.
that we were all pretty, on the same level field, like the same field. We're all playing on the same ground. Now it seems like some people have been pulled up and put on pedestals, and other people have been pushed down, and it really feels that, society has just gone on a heartbeat. Like
Yeah.
we don't know who, you have to be afraid of what you're going to say and what you're going to do. So, controversy on what you do. Well, we're kind of sort of going with that. What is it that I know what you're doing, and we went through this already, and the psychic readings. Okay, what is the psychic reading? We'll just go through quickly with a few of them.
Well, a lot of people read a lot of different ways, okay? Some
Mhm.
people just look at you and, well, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, for me, when someone asks me, well, what do you see? I see a ton of things. So I always
Mhm.
ask people to be more specific. Like, what do you want to know? What isn't happening in your life? So psychic readings, love,
Mhm.
career, right?
Mhm.
Those are the two most asked questions.
Yeah.
Right?
When am
Yeah.
I going to get married, and
Does
will
he
I
love
get a
me
good
or does he
job?
not? Right? It's usually career or love
How will I
or
pay my bills?
or health. As
Ah.
people, yeah. And it seems like at this day with so many things in our climate and our lifestyles that
Mhm.
aren't healthy, people are getting sicker younger and younger.
Yes. And a little bit of a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
So I'll leave that because I have
Right.
theories on why that children are getting sicker and sicker and
Yeah.
sicker, even though medicine is getting better and better.
I don't believe so. I think
Ye-
we don't even vaccinate our kids and
No.
flu shots or anything like that.
I think
and
that's
I've seen a lot of kids that were normal. They got vaccinated and ended up with autism. So there's a lot of discrepancy.
and the odds for that are huge.
And yeah,
It's huge. Force-fed meds.
force-fed meds.
Yeah, forcing
And
your
and
children.
as a seer and a psychic, I've met so many people that when they get diseases from shots that were
Mhm.
children, and
Mhm.
or things like birth control or some other type of pharmaceutical medication that's actually making them ill.
I agree. It's
Yeah, so beware. I mean, don't be stupid. If I had a heart attack, I'd be the first one. But
Yeah,
sometimes
help.
call a doctor. I mean, everything has its place, so don't
Mhm.
get us wrong there. That's I'm not. I'm totally into. There's both worlds, and medical and metaphysical
Mhm.
or spiritual. It's. I think it's knowing when to use everything, and everything has value.
So you would say you use mostly metaphysical healing then?
Correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
good.
But I had a man come into my office one time, very close to all his family. We worked, together forever, and I
Mhm.
looked at him, and his wife had been in a dream group of mine. It kept coming up that her husband could pass.
Hmm.
And so he asked him if he would come and see me, and he did, and he sat down, I looked at him, and I said, "How do you feel about a quadruple bypass?" And he kind of went, and I couldn't believe I so bluntly kicked that one out. And he
That would have been
goes,
his angel speaking through you.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, he got up in the morning, and he felt really sick and unusual, and he felt really weak when he was going to take out the rubbish.
Mhm.
And he said, my little voice, Susan Rebel, came to his head and said, "How do you feel about a quadruple bypass?" And he called 911, and he was saved, and he had a quadruple bypass.
Wow.
Yeah. And now I had been counseling his wife, and I had said to her, well, there's a death cycle at this age, and then there's a death cycle 7 years later. And he died 7 years later from heart problems. But they got
Hmm.
another 7 years with their dad.
Yeah, and
He
that's
thanked me, and he said, if it wasn't for you and that wisdom, I wouldn't have called 911. But because you'd told me,
yeah.
and I did have a quadruple bypass, and he did get 7 more years of life, and he has a beautiful, loving family and grandchildren, and they're so happy for that.
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. That is, what a gift for you to be able to share that with other people, to be able to share that gift.
Yeah.
I know that's what I like to do too, because I've had a lot of people that are not in good situations, and we go through it and release it and face it.
Yeah.
And facing it with me means a lot of times going past life, going
Yeah.
into their past lives and finding out what happened back then with you and this person, and how is it not working, and if you can forgive them.
Yeah.
And then I bring the angels in and have the angels heal it right there, heal the situation, and then I bring them back. I don't take my client with me to where I'm at, because there's a lot of times there's bad stuff that I don't want them to
Exactly.
see.
Yeah.
But I will see it, and it's amazing how clear it feels.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
how clear the visions
yeah,
are.
and
Like I can
that's
see their what
truth,
color
that's
their
truth.
shoes.
Right.
I can see what color
Yeah.
the dirt, what flowers are growing in the yard, and it's amazing and it just comes. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't
Well,
control.
you're not thinking of it. It's like being a channel. Like people say,
Mhm.
well, you just make this stuff up. No, I hear it. It's got nothing to do with
Mhm.
me. Me is a whole other entity.
Yeah.
This is a gift,
Yeah.
that I was given to share. It's not my personality.
No.
Like
I-
you kind of, your ego moves out of the way, I do believe,
Yep.
and then spirit comes through, because I don't remember what I tell people.
Me too. I don't.
Yeah.
I could be just actually don't even know what the next word is going to be when I start.
Sometimes, yeah,
When I start
exactly.
channeling with people or talking to people, and I feel that this message is coming to you from spirit, or
And that's
from
called clairaudient. Like when
Yeah,
I teach
audio.
classes, I
Mhm.
said you're the three clairs today, okay? You're
Mhm.
going to be clairvoyant, clairescent, or clairaudient.
Okay.
And so many people are, tuned in. Like some
Mhm.
people smell things. Some
Yeah.
people, I hear as much as I see.
I hear first.
Oh,
I will
okay,
hear
hear
first.
first.
I will hear
Wonderful.
first, and it will just be like a knowingness.
Yeah. And so
It's
when
like
you
I
have that
hear and a
ability to
knowingness,
speak,
and then I can start to look around and I'll start to see. But it is just like flipping a switch in my head, though, because I
Yeah.
can just be normal me doing whatever, and then as soon as I start the conversation that we're talking
yeah,
about
you're
it,
in the zone.
and then all of a sudden it's like click, oh, in the zone,
That's what
and
I
now I
call
can
it.
start seeing dead people around you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you
But
can
it
turn
doesn't
off or
stay
turn
with
on.
me. I have
No.
to ask for it. Like and it comes when I ask, but I think it's a contract that I have with them.
Yeah.
It's a contract. I want to have full abilities to be a medium, on my terms.
There you go.
I don't want no spooky stuff lying around in my house. So,
There you go.
and if I get any kind of an inkling, then I just burn some sage and I'm good. I don't allow free flowers going through the house.
Yeah, no, you keep it clean.
Yeah,
no
I do.
attachments, yeah.
So then I noticed you've got Reiki and you teach Reiki.
Yes, and I love Reiki. I was introduced to Reiki, about 33 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was getting my first session with
Mhm.
a lady named Dr. Debbz Den June, who was my Reiki teacher, became my Reiki teacher, I had the most incredible visions of all these ancient temples and knowledge and
Wow.
scripts and Sanskrits and all these different writings.
Fun.
And I was telling her as she was working on me, I don't think I was her typical Reiki client. And after that, we actually became, closer and shared my visions. And
Mhm.
I became a master
Mhm.
and have taught a lot of people. And Reiki, unfortunately, is not very pure anymore. There's all kinds of Reiki, but Reiki itself, true Reiki, is a science, a 5,000-year-old science of laying on the hands in 13 different positions.
Mhm.
So if you're some of those Reiki masters out there and you're not touching anyone, I'm sorry, you're not doing Reiki. Call it whatever you want, but that is
Mhm.
not Reiki.
Mhm.
I do come from the source of Reiki.
Yes.
Madame Takata herself.
She was born on my birthday.
Oh, okay.
Christmas Eve.
And she was also from Hawaii.
Yes.
Yeah,
And she brought that from Japan.
right. How she ended up in Japan, you probably know, is that her husband was ill. And
Mhm.
she went over there and he died, actually, and to settle the affairs, where she was diagnosed with cancer. And when she was
Hmm.
on the table right about to get an operation, Spirit came to her and said, "Don't do it, there's another way." And it was so strong that she stopped and said, "I'm not going to do this. Do you know of anything else?" And then that's how she got introduced to Dr. Hayashi.
Oh.
And Dr. Hayashi was the Grand Master, went from Dr. Usui to Dr. Hayashi to Madame Takata.
Maybe it was only like 12 originals.
No,
or
there's
something.
only 3 original Grand Masters, and then
Okay.
Madame Takata. When Dr. Hayashi, when World War II came in,
Mhm.
and he knew he was going to call it into service and have to kill people, which went against all his spiritual beliefs that he had discovered,
Mhm.
he went into transition on his own. And at that time, he had her he named her the new Reiki Master because he knew she could reach people worldwide.
Mhm.
And she, the only Grand Master in the world, is her granddaughter, Phyllis Leigh Furumoto,
Hmm.
who resides in Idaho. And she initiated 22 other masters. And since then, there's all kinds of lineage. But if you're looking for a true, authentic lineage,
Mhm.
find someone who has been trained through Phyllis Leigh Furumoto and,
Mhm.
do the real Usui
Mhm.
lineage. Okay?
Yeah, and that's important to have it because when it passes on, that's a spiritual energy that
Yes,
passes
and
on.
it was
right?
never anything that was written. It was never anything that was sung. It was very private and sacred, and it was passed on verbally,
Mhm.
and that's how I was taught, and that's how it should still be taught, and that's how I teach.
Mhm.
There's no paperwork.
And I have books,
Yeah,
paperwork.
and do you read it or use it?
Actually, it reads it to me. I have it on auto.
Oh,
So
okay.
it just reads me the whole
Sure.
book over and over and over and
Oh,
over and
okay.
over. So, but shamanism, you do shamanism also, what we have here.
Yeah, and I actually with shamanism, way back when I took a few of the
Mhm.
Michael Harner courses, in
I'm
the
not sure.
shaman.
But-
Well, he's kind of the one who started like urban shamanism,
Oh.
like got it out from the native communities and did that. So a lot of
That's
people
nice.
have studied that. And then I had an amazing shamanic teacher named Ariadne Green. And yeah, and she was Greek actually. And she was just an amazing shaman. Like she could just go into your spirit and do things. So
Mhm.
I learned a lot from her.
Mhm.
And then, well, you know how it is when you're psychic or clairvoyant or clairaudient person. Things come to you. You hear this. So there's a lot of like,
They
when
do.
we say we're
Mhm.
self-taught, we're not really self-taught.
Things
we
just land on your lap.
And you hear from spirit. Like I trust spirit more than humans.
Yeah.
They've never given me false information. You
Well,
know? And so then I
they've
think,
always tried to help.
yeah,
And they've always tried to warn.
right.
And when I don't listen to my warnings or the words that I'm hearing, then things don't go quite so smoothly.
Yeah. So in the
And
shamanic,
they're
yeah.
strong too. Like when they're telling me to do something, it's like,
And then I think, the part with me and shamanism
Mhm.
is being visual. Like I'll be working on someone and I will literally see something that happened to them, like from anywhere from birth to however old they are.
Mhm.
And trauma or car accidents or things like that.
right.
Your soul jumps out. And we call those lost soul parts. And a lot of people through traumatic incidents in their lives, whatever nature they came
Right.
from, have a lot of lost souls. Now being a seer, I, working on someone, I go, okay, you need a soul retrieval. A lot of my shamanic stuff is, what would you say, on the spot? Because I see it and then I'll go, yeah, well, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Your experience, this is more shamanic. Like, you need a soul retrieval. Or, actually my guides will take people on journeys, to the upper world and to the lower world.
I'd like to know more about that too.
Yeah, and I'd love to teach you all that. Oh yeah, you'd actually
Oh,
love,
yeah.
teaching you to journey,
Mhm.
And so often,
And
like,
that's something I've always done. I usually journey with groups of people, dreams while I'm dreaming. We usually
Yeah.
take a bus or a plane, and we always bring a pet along, and we all know we're going on a journey, and we'll fly to someplace else in the world and go to a concert, and we'll all come back in the same, we all got to get
Yeah.
back in the thing. And so I do those kinds of soul journeys, but
yeah, shamanic journey is in there. So the belief system of shamanism
Mhm.
in the upper world is your spirit guide,
right.
and in the lower world is your nature guides.
Oh, nature
Yeah.
guides.
And in the spirit world,
So that would be your fairies and gnomes and
yeah, animals. A lot of the animals
are
yeah.
kind of in that,
Yeah,
that
and the-
lower
yeah.
lower realm.
And then the rounds that you're hanging out is forests, rivers, lakes, things on
Mhm.
those shamanic journeys. And when you go to upper world journeys, you're in the clouds, the skies, silver cities,
Ooh, I've seen those too.
diff-
Golden
cities,
cities.
different
Yeah.
doors of entrance into different realities. And
I've had to
and
climb
this-
up little caves and
Yeah,
go up, and all of a
exactly.
sudden I'm in a big white room, and there's a big city on the other side, and it's all golden and beautiful. And I'm walking down the hall, and there'll be like a little area that is like trees as high as you can see and as low as you can see, and it's all in this
See,
little
and
cave.
those nature guides may take you like on a journey to
Mhm.
a natural spot and give you your answers there. Okay, like,
That's fun when you do it with other people.
yeah, and even for yourself.
Yeah.
I'll teach people to just pick an animal and tell me what the animal says. Sit with
Oh,
it,
yeah.
journey with it. So the
I
lower
talk to my
world-
cat all the time.
Well, I have a dog, and he tells me everything. When I first started traveling, my kids were getting a little older, and I started going out and doing my work. I'd come home, my dog would tell me everything about my kids, and I would go, I heard you did that and that and that. They're like, where'd you hear that from? And I was like, Koa, that's my name, and my dog is Koa. And they go, yeah, well, only Koa would know because we didn't tell anyone else. So yeah, dogs are all animals are very telepathic.
I think so, that they have a little bit more of an in-depth look at
Yeah.
what's going on than us.
Right.
They see it at, like, I know my little Chihuahua would be at the door 5 minutes before I got home.
Yeah. And waiting for
Flipping
mommy.
out, yeah, it's
Knowing
not like a
mom's coming
yeah.
home, yeah.
And they would just know. I could still be out on the highway, and they would just know. So shamanism is really good for people who feel lost, I'd imagine. People who
Well, all different things. Physical
Mhm.
things are affecting. Emotional patterns are affecting things
Mhm.
from child life experiences or times
Mhm.
that we checked out and
Mhm.
stayed out there. And so, it's fun. The upper world is mainly what people are tuning into now, like your spirit guides or
Mhm.
ancestral guides. And in the upper world, there's like so many cosmic guides from so many different planets.
I agree, yeah.
Wing creatures and this and that.
All the different levels of the
Yeah,
angels.
it's like where'd all these,
And then there's spirit.
and then you just believe in them, and then
Mhm.
a lot of people will get like ancestors, as
Mhm.
out there in the upper world, and some ancestors will pick a family member to watch over after
Mhm.
they pass.
I just find that it's a little difficult to convince people that, not difficult to convince people, but difficult to let people know that there's ways out. Like, 'cause, you know, people when they're lost. Like they're.
And often it takes them to get
Mhm.
that lost to
Mhm.
get desperate enough to go to people like us.
Or have family who cares enough to actually buy
Does a-
certificates.
right, and then say, well,
hey,
nothing
mhm.
else is working.
Can you
Try
please
that.
help my
and
son?
sometimes it's part
Mhm.
of their own spiritual evolution
Mhm.
to have something happen to them, so they can evolve and see the light or feel the light or be healed.
I think that's why I've had such a rough life. Just
Your
so
bad karma, you mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, all that karma's coming in this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good though. Also, let's see, the reconnected healing. What is that?
Well, the reconnection is really interesting to me. And I met a German lady maybe like over 10 years ago in Maui. Her name was Gala Gerhardt. And one of my friends had gone to her and she goes, Sue, this is you. You got to do this. This is so you. And I go, what does she do? And she goes, like, okay.
Oh,
So it was
that sounds
easy enough
fun.
for me, right? So I went to see Kayla, and it was an amazing experience to me. I'm still a big girl, but I was a bigger girl, and my first session with her, and reconnective healing, by the way, is just working with energy and vibrations that you pick out on the body. It's like scanning the body, feeling a hookup, playing with it. It is the most playful, beautiful energy that I've found on the planet.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Highly effective in
Mhm.
instant type of miracle healings.
It was fun that you taught us at the lodge,
Yeah,
or not at the lodge,
The pyramid.
The pyramid,
yeah.
and that's also happening next weekend too. If you're interested in spending a weekend at the pyramid, the solstice retreat. I don't have Joanne's phone number with me today.
403-385-5774.
Yay, she has. That's
Photograph
Joanne, for
it.
Joanne.
Joanne Bean, amazing
Yes.
shamanic healer, wonderful woman.
Mhm.
Join her at the pyramid this weekend in Pincher Creek.
Not this weekend.
This following weekend, I'm sorry.
This weekend
yeah.
she's doing
Solstice
a
weekend.
horse retreat. So any of my fans that are Heartland fans, I used to work on Heartland, so I was an extra there and gotten about 20 different episodes. But all of you Heartland lovers, if you want to do something fun with your kids this weekend, give Joanne Bean a call. And it's just in Vulcan, which is not too far. It's only about 45 minutes, maybe an hour from Lethbridge.
Yeah, not really far.
Not too far, but they're having a retreat from 9 till 4 or 10, 9:30, 10 till 4, and they are having drumming circles. They're having time with the horses, healing with the horses, and just and then having a potluck. So it's just a fun group of people to be around and to be able to experience what horses and animals can offer.
Amazing. And speaking of that, the following Thursday on the actual solstice, I think
Right.
we'll be doing some Akashic record readings at
Oh,
Joanne's.
yeah.
If anyone like to join in for that.
I would, but I will be here.
Oh, sorry.
On
that's
Thursday.
right.
It's
Oh,
on
but isn't
Thursday.
it later? You might actually be able to come. I think it was going to be
Well,
like
we're from 4 till 5.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And it's an hour drive.
Oh,
So I was thinking about coming in the morning though.
that would be
I'm going to
great.
come and hang out in the morning. I think we're going to make some
Awesome.
drums.
Yeah, my friend that's visiting from Hawaii has always wanted my drum from Joanne, so she has the opportunity to make her own.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm going to be
Yeah.
making mine too. Mine's going to be out of elk skin.
Oh, and so is hers.
Yeah.
You guys chose
Yeah,
them.
we cut the elk up a
Oh,
couple weeks
beautiful.
ago and
Oh, lovely.
pulled all the skin off with
Yeah.
Shirley Bateman when Shirley was here. So Shirley will be here again this week.
Lovely.
So that's going to be exciting. And let me think. Is there any more? I know I'm getting
Well, I'm
close.
a little bit more on the reconnection. There's reconnective
Mhm.
healing, which is an energetic healing, very powerful, working with vibrational things of the body.
Mhm.
And then there's a reconnection itself, which is 120 lines of light that are drawn through our hands with just light, visual light.
Hmm.
And those 120 lines of light look like a big acupuncture chart, and they reconnect you back to the strings, lines of the planet, the ley lines, the grids of the planet, which reconnect you back to your own star source. And I've got to say, out of all the things I have
That sounds
learned, the
exciting.
reconnection is powerful.
Mhm.
What it does is it puts you back on your own destiny source without all the baggage and DNA and stuff that comes in.
We needed
through-
destiny.
yeah, through our parents and our DNA.
Right.
They took it to the University of Arizona. They actually studied this energy, and they found it was faster than the speed of light, and they proved that it changed DNA.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you're
So is
into
that-
learning more about reconnective
Yeah,
healing, look
definitely.
up Dr. Eric Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
Pearl, Dr. Eric Pearl. Look him up and the reconnection, okay? Because
Mm.
to me, that's one of the most amazing things when people really are stuck in their life and they
Mhm.
really need a change. You do the reconnection itself, and it speeds up your evolution, puts you on your perfect path to destiny very quickly.
Wow.
I had a couple
Been working
of women,
on that one all year.
I had a couple of women come to Maui just a couple of months ago from Lethbridge,
Mm-hmm.
and I met up with them yesterday, and in a few months their whole lives had changed, and I went,
Mhm.
you did the reconnection. They
Yeah.
got the jobs they wanted. They, solved relationship things. Like everything gets brought
Solved
to the table.
relationship problem.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Speeds everything.
Well, and I guess that just kind of ciphers out what's not serving you and just opens the doors
Right.
for what you are meant to be.
Yeah,
in.
and especially, people who don't
Mhm.
want to spend a lot of time on this path learning. I call it a quick fix. Do the reconnection. If you
That sounds
men
fantastic.
love it. They don't seem to be as wanting to get into all their subconscious, superconscious. They love
Mhm.
the reconnection. It's a quick fix. It works.
So how is that? Just to sit down and talk, or
no,
do you
it's
do a
drawing
physical?
those 120 lines. It's an hour, 2-day process.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because I study into the ley lines and know that we're on a power line here. Especially between Barons and Champion, there's a big power line there, and lots of ancient artifacts and stuff are
Yeah.
going on in there in that area. It goes straight across through there. That is just, that's amazing. Like be able to change people's lives
Yeah.
in just
It
a
really
matter.
does
And I
change
did
your
mention
lives.
that this would be a life-changing experience if you were to go and sit down.
Well, I started to
and-
say about the reconnection. When I did
Mhm.
it, my thyroid started working, and it went on fast forward for probably 48 hours. I had to call the lady, and I was like, bleep, 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 bleep. What's going on? She says, I think your thyroid kicked in.
Okay.
And it did. I went to my thyroid had always been abnormal, and I didn't
Mhm.
want to treat it medically. And
Mhm.
then after that, it's been normal ever since. Still on the low end, but it's normal. No medication in
Mhm.
the medical world.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
No medication
Yeah,
needed.
so it actually showed up
Just
normal on tests.
spirit.
Spirit, yeah.
Which is basically using the power from within
Right.
and connecting it with the power from the
With that.
Creator.
Sometimes,
and-
yeah, they just need a little connection, like people like us that are in
Mhm.
the middle.
Yes. People like us.
Yeah.
That, kind of go out of your way and out of your life to become somebody who's in service.
There you go.
That your sole purpose is to help people, and myself, if I'm not doing it, I feel empty.
Yeah.
I feel that I wish I could have helped somebody, or I see somebody that I would like to help, and they don't have the funds or whatever. I
Yeah.
still feel like really drawn to want to pray and help them
Yeah.
in every way, anyway, without
Yeah,
being
we call
paid.
that the sliding scale. If you can't, in Hawaii, there's still a lot of barter systems, and if you can't pay, and you know
Mhm.
that person needs something, you trade you something.
Yeah, I like barter
and it's
system
a basket
myself.
of fruit. As long
Yeah,
as
yeah.
the intent is there, right?
I think that
So
it's
you don't get
important to
any-
have that exchange.
Because
though.
if not, you get karmically indebted to people, not
Mhm.
just for this lifetime, but lifetimes to come.
right.
And that goes back to Reiki philosophy, why they started charging, because nobody valued it when it was free. And I've noticed almost every
Mhm.
time I really care for someone, I think they don't have the money, they can't afford to come, they give it free, they hardly come.
Hmm.
But if I said it's $100 and it would change your life, I bet they'd dig it up.
I think
So that's
find
one of
it.
the things I've really been
Mhm.
thinking about lately. Do people not value free? Free doesn't mean it's any good. Free means we have huge hearts sometimes. And
Yes,
we're
exactly.
gifting that, gifting
Yes.
that to people. It's not all about the dollar,
It is about the dollar, because we all have to live,
Mhm.
and there has to be.
But it's not all. See, that's financial blessing.
And that we have to take care of ourselves, but
Right.
and sometimes taking care of ourselves means giving.
Correct. That's a really beautiful way of
Yeah,
putting it.
and sometimes, you might feel bad about something, that's in your life, but when you go out of your way and you help somebody, or you help a child, or you help somebody who's in pain, and you just come over and you just hold them and do a prayer for them, and they turn around and stand up and go, I think that's different. I think, I can't feel it. I'm sure it'll come back, but right now it's gone. And I'm like, well, just accept that it's gone. And anytime it does come back, tell it to take off.
Yeah.
Go away, go away. We got rid of you already. And just by knowing that you can remove it, know that you can keep it removed. And I think that's important to train people to realize, okay, if that does come back, it could be you bringing it back.
Right.
You gotta be the person over your own body. You gotta be the ruler. So, I know my sons are all like, I'm the ultimate strength. And last week my son dropped a big piece of metal on his foot and got 7 stitches. And he was like, Mom, come help me, but don't use any of your stuff. I have plenty of my own. So we just use his energy to help him heal himself. And I think that's very easy to do with people too. Is just if they don't want other energy or whatever, you can just ignite their energy.
Correct. Yeah.
And get them to use their own energy and teach them to do that too.
Yeah.
And I think that's safe, because then they're not, if they're scared of pulling energy from someplace else, just say, okay, we're going to use all your energy. And I think that gives people empowerment.
Mhm.
It does.
Yep.
So we got about 15. Soul, divine healing hands. I think that's where we are.
Well, Divine Healing Hands,
Mhm.
I became a Divine Healing Hands master through Dr. Zgang Shaw, who resides in Toronto, Canada. And I met him through a group of healers on Maui who went to one of his things and were very impressed with him, and now have a center on Maui, a Tao Healing Center,
Oh,
through
nice.
Dr. Shaw. And
Wonderful.
I was in the program, and it's all about soul, and I find fascinating about Dr. Shaw's work is that everything has a soul.
Mhm.
This has a soul. This has a soul. Your finger has a soul. Everything has a soul.
My crystal has a soul.
Soul. Yeah. And so his theory is soul over matter.
Hmm.
Not soul over mind and body. Soul over matter.
Hmm.
Right? So the soul of anything can heal and transmute anything.
Well, if the soul is infinite and you believe in reincarnation, I believe in reincarnation, that everything is repeating itself. So the same people that were fighting all of these wars 2,000 years ago, these same
David
souls
knows,
are
they're still
all
fighting.
here.
Correct.
And they're still trying to do the same thing. They're still trying to have the same fight. And they're still carrying the same baggage. So if your soul's been around for
Yeah.
2,000 incarnations or so, if you believe in reincarnation,
Yeah.
you've had a lot of experience. An old soul may have a really rough life because they've got a lot of baggage to deal with.
Yeah, exactly.
So they might have things a little bit more difficult for them.
And then speaking of soul healing, like we'll take like a devastated area like the island of Hawaii right now. The big
Right.
island is it's horrible what's happening there.
Mm.
And many of my friends and family have no homes and nowhere to go and no help from the government. So in the soul healing we go, dear soul, mind and body of the island of Hawaii, to Pele, the volcano, I love, honor, and appreciate you. I know you have the power to heal this situation, so do a good job.
Mm-hmm. That was a
No.
bit of a meditation there, actually.
And we add a whole bunch of stuff into that, right? Yeah.
And
so-
and that there's so much power in words, even, and just to be able to right now when you said that, right now my first instinct was that my heart and soul is reaching out to Hawaii now. And I would hope that my listeners would feel that sort of a connection too, that we reach out to
Yeah.
those people in Hawaii who are losing everything, and including the land.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the land's growing.
Well, the land's growing, but it's recreating. So where your house used to be is a big stone lava thing.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean like you can go back there and build your house, because there's no landscaping anymore. What used to be roads is a lava forest. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
looking at
amazing
Frank's
that
slide.
Yeah, it just keeps going too.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, and this is the longest outbreak we've had since 1920, by the way, and it's not looking really good.
and it's still going, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
the last I seen, it was
it's
still
going.
moving.
Yeah, it's still moving.
It's still moving.
Yeah.
So that would be Hawaii saying we're rejuvenating. I would think
Right,
we're
or
it's
Mother
time,
Nature.
Mother, it's time to
Very-
clean up some garbage.
Well, that would be my yeah, and just you know what, in general, when a fire is building, steam is building within our own selves and our own emotions,
Mhm.
then there's the eruption, right? So it's about balance.
Right.
Yeah.
I think people are. I think that's what you're saying there is that people get that way too, where they just let things go and let things go and let things go, and it bottles up inside them, and
Yeah.
you know things aren't going their way.
You
you
blow
know.
it up, and
Yeah,
that's
and
like
they're not
the-
happy at work. They bring
yeah,
that
the
home. Now they're
volcanoes,
not
like we've
happy
had
at-
enough of
Yeah.
humankind too.
Yeah.
And that's an explosive. It's from the under. It's from the inside of the earth.
Yeah,
I mean, that fire purifies.
scary. Because fire can be so dangerous.
Well, what's scary about that
It
is
is
all
dangerous.
those things are all connected in the Pacific Ring, and they're
In the
all
rim.
going off. So
Yeah. So
here we go.
Get on the
Then you
path.
change it or apocalypse now, right?
so now it's even more important to be on the path of enlightenment and helping people to find their happiness and their happy parts in their souls. We're almost at polarity.
Well, polarity is kind of like kinesiology, right? And it's working
Could
with
add that one to the
yeah.
What's that one?
Kinesiology.
Yeah.
So what it is working with frequencies and pulses. You know,
Okay.
like if I was to do a grief relief for polarity, I would just touch little pulses. And believe it or not, you go all the way down the body, and it's kind of like a scientific
Pressure points are
pressure
fine.
points,
Yeah.
yeah, that you just barely touch. It's vibrational, it's
Mhm.
energetic, and it releases grief and energy. So
Hmm.
there's so many different types of things you could do in polarity.
I get when I'm looking at somebody and I do a scan like this over them, I'll be able to pinpoint there's something wrong right there. There's something wrong right there. I could do that from 6 feet away. I
Yeah,
could
you
scan
could-
them
yeah.
and I could feel. I get like a funny feeling in between my bones, like a zzz.
Yeah, you get
when
that
I get
thing.
over.
Well, that's the connection. You're
Yeah.
connecting with that energy.
As soon as I feel I'll be going over, and all of a sudden it'll be like zzz,
Zip, stop there.
and it goes right in between my fingers, and I can touch them, and they'll go, "Wow, that's
Yeah, or try not even touching them.
Yeah.
Just playing with that energy, like
Yeah.
how I taught you in that class.
Uh-huh.
Over that.
Yeah, that was great. I
Yeah.
found that very.
So
powerful.
polarity is more not really bad. It's more like, okay, there's this point, this point, this point, this point, and those are all connected to emotions. So we call
Okay.
that grief relief for polarity.
Mhm.
And there's other ones for happiness. So it's
Hmm.
all little energetic things that balance you out.
Wow, that looks.
And it
sounds
was
like quite
probably,
the
you know,
course.
some brilliant metaphysicist who could see energy and devised methods.
Hmm, yeah, there must have been some ancient book somewhere.
Yeah.
Because I've seen them in books too, where they say if you've got pain in this area in your back, down and low here, and like when you're doing the Reiki thing,
Yeah.
that could be like emotional or sexual abuse.
Yeah.
That will show up in a certain area of pain,
Yeah.
or if you've been like.
Well, and that's like
you know,
body programming. You know, people who
Yeah.
have affairs of the heart
Mhm.
end up with heart problems. People who have mental issues or think too much end up with mental or brain problems.
Oh no.
You know. So I mean, it really is, you know, body related. Stomach, area of the family,
Yeah.
digesting your life. You know.
Mhm.
Hands, feet, like get those places, feel it, you know, they're like every part of us
It's connected to the universe.
is connected to the universe.
I think it's connected to the universe because,
Yeah.
well, I study astrology also, so
Right, yeah.
and every planet is connected to a different part of the body, and every planet has rules different sicknesses, and so when that planet comes close, and I've been watching this for the last few years. Okay, now this planet's coming close. Everybody's going to be probably getting stomach cramps and stomach pain, and then you'll see, oh, huge flu, and everybody's got stomach cramps and pain. And I'm like, oh, that's part of the transition. It's part of just when how going through these last couple of years, especially since 2014, how when certain planets get in, that transition changes your
Right.
physical body. Like I believe our bodies are physically being upgraded,
There we go.
and I think that
Yeah.
it's burning a lot of people out. um, leaving people confused. Their lives are changing, and they're not sure why, but all of a sudden they think that they deserve better. They deserve to be happy. They deserve to have good people in their life, and then they get to the point where those people who aren't serving them, they kick them out.
Yeah.
I've noticed a lot of that.
Yeah.
Even just yesterday, I had a client come and go like, I have gotten rid of 4 friends. People I thought were my friends, I want nothing to do with them anymore.
A good sign, yeah. That's a lot of people are doing
They're
that.
like,
This
what's
just
going
be-
on with me?
When I was reading the Chinese astrology for the year, and it really is about people setting new boundaries and
Mhm.
saying no,
Yeah, it is.
you know? Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that we all need to realize is that we're all evolving on our own path. Nobody's ahead of anybody. That we're all just
Where
taking
you've
it.
got to be at the time for whatever
Yeah.
life lessons you signed up to learn at this
Yeah,
time.
and we all have lessons, and we all have, so we're not trying to say anyone is above anyone, but there are people in the world that have studied lots, have learned lots, and are here to help. And that's what we're talking, that's what Debbz Den is about. Debbz Den is about finding those people, opening up the doors, opening up the connections to help you find people to help you fix your life or your friend's life or your partner's life or somebody, that is having a rough time in life. Things aren't coming together, never have, and at times you're afraid that they might be suicidal. If you have a friend like that, contact me at 403-929-2932. I'm Debbz Den, DebbzDen.com, or Debbz Den Angel Empowerment Practitioner on Facebook, Debbz Den at Gmail, Debbz Den at Instagram, and DebbzDen.com.
Beautiful.
That's where you can find me. And I know you're going back to Hawaii soon, but I'm assuming people can still call you
Yes,
when you get
and
back.
I
and
do 90% of my work over the phone,
Mhm.
even though I love to do it in person. Anyone's welcome to ever come to see me in Hawaii or
Mhm.
reach me
Oh,
on the
yay, I got an invitation.
phone.
No, just kidding.
Yes, oh, definitely, you have an open invitation right there. Yeah,
Good.
and I can do everything over the phone. even
Yeah.
though if you're in Hawaii, it's more fun, and I do come here and do some community things here as well.
You said you might be back in
And
September.
I will most likely definitely be back in September or
Mhm.
October.
Okay.
Okay. And at that time, Jeb could clue you in. to
Yes, and I will definitely
whatever's
be
going
trimming,
on.
letting you in.
But
and-
if anybody wants to speak to me on the phone
Mhm.
in Hawaii, we're 4 hours behind Lethbridge. And
so no calling at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it's okay. They do. I don't have it on. But yeah, it's great, and I love to work over the phone. And my website is Vision Healings with an S, visionhealings.com. My phone number is 808-269-0520. And that's Susan Rebow at Vision Healings from Maui, Hawaii, 808-269-0520. I'm really happy and honored to be a part of Deb's show.
And thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to me. I respect your work, and I've seen it firsthand. And I know that when you were telling stories about when we were in Egypt or whatever, I remember them so clearly. When you said I have a pot sitting beside me here, and it's got this, and I could see the brass in it. I could see everything in it, what it was made out of, and everything. And I just thought, wow, is that ever fun to be able to connect?
And feel it.
And
while
see
you're
it.
telling me that, I'm getting
I could
getting
see it.
goosebumps to
Yeah.
tell. And to me, that represents
Truth. Yeah, to me that represents
That's
truth.
true.
Because
Yeah.
like if somebody says, "Oh, you're just making up stories," but then why can I see them? You know,
Right, yeah.
if that's just a story, then
Yeah.
how is it that I can see where things are hidden also and do that kind of work? But I do practice with having somebody hide something in a room,
And, see if you
and
can
then I
find-
find it in my head.
That's
and look
great.
for it, just
I'll
like-
have to try that.
yeah, it's
That's a good one.
fun. You
That's a
have
good
to
one.
get somebody to hide it for you,
For
like
you,
a
for it, yeah.
nickel. Like get a nickel and just tell them, okay, go hide it in this room.
Good point, because people call me all the time,
Uh-huh.
like, I lost my jewelry, mainly jewelry.
I get Shamuel to help with that.
Jewelry or money, And
Mhm.
sometimes I'm dead on, sometimes if I don't hear or see anything, I don't have any information. If I
Mhm.
do, great, right?
I usually
Yeah.
send Archangel Shamuel, which is also Cupid. And
Ah.
Shamuel is the angel for finding stuff.
Oh, well, good to know. I learned something
And yeah,
today.
so if you say, just say, Archangel Shamuel, I want my keys back now, please. Yeah, it's usually that kind of tone after you've been looking for a while and you realize that you need to ask for help. And then you turn around and you walk straight up to it and you pick up the pack. Oh, here they are. You know, like, I only been looking for
And
an
you
hour and a
know, this-
half. Here they are.
And this world is so, what is it, metaphoric?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, I had friends, and one of those stories of losing something, and a really good piece of jewelry, one of the grandkids did something with it. They couldn't find it. And I
Mhm.
said, well, I keep seeing it by something, by sparkly things, like it kind of went, and it's landed like in a tree or something, but there's a lot of sparkles. Well, their grandchild had flung it into the Christmas tree, and when they took the Christmas tree down, they found that $5,000 necklace hanging in the Christmas
Oh,
tree.
they found
And they
it.
called me and said, well, you're right, it was by sparkling things, and all the tinsel and everything on the tree.
Oh, yeah, that is so
And it
great
was
when
in the tree. So that was kind of a metaphor, but there it was, right?
Mhm. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Those are kind of miracles that I love doing this type of light work with
Yeah.
it, because almost every day.
And when I tell people, I usually get 2 appointments with someone. The first one is to answer all their questions, and the second is for them to come back and tell me it was right.
Yeah, yeah, that's fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, the second one is usually when they're bringing back somebody else to say,
Yeah, say,
"You've
"She was
got
right."
to try
Yeah,
this.
yes,
This is
yeah.
amazing." And I really like that outcome when people are just like blown away,
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God, I
Yeah.
feel so different. How did you know all that stuff?" And
Yeah.
so, how would you say if somebody says, "How do you know that stuff? How do you know what you just told me?"
And I don't really know, it just comes through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
I was
what I say
showing
too.
your guides, and yourself showed me those
Mhm.
things.
all I know is what I see.
And I see and hear people's stories, and that is your
Mhm.
pain, your stories. That's what creates disharmony, disease. Right?
Yeah.
You can help them forgive a story or an
Mhm.
experience. Then the energy can shift into healing.
Right.
Yeah.
I do believe that forgiveness is the key to all healing.
To
That
all, everything.
to-
If you want to have a
yeah,
happy life,
yeah.
forgive.
If you're holding on to grudges against somebody, you're really just holding them on to yourself. You're hurting yourself more than anything. And if you have trouble getting over the pain that you're feeling, the anger, or just somebody might have really really hurt you. Somebody might have stolen from you. Somebody might have got a divorce. You might have got cheated on. Really bad stuff happens to us. Car accidents, and we really feel that we've been ripped off a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And just the idea that if you choose to hold on to that energy, you're choosing to hurt yourself. Is how I see it, because it's not for your highest good. That stuff might have happened. You're going to feel it. Of course, you're going to be sad. You might be physically injured for the rest of your life, but not to let that down,
Not
put
to
you
stop
down,
living. Yeah.
make that down, kick you up, make it be your fight, your energy, your will to overcome it, and especially if it's somebody who's made you mad and you're mad at them. The way you can beat them is by loving them, and then that really confuses them.
Yeah.
When you have somebody who is trying to have a fight with you, and you turn around and are just nice and just say sorry, love ya, and walk
Yeah.
away,
There you go.
that just really it makes it difficult to keep up the fight when you can just turn around and say sorry, I love you, and that's as easy as that. And you're not doing it for that person that hurt you, really.
Yeah.
You're doing it for your own healing.
Yeah, because someone hurts you and they're fine about it, and then you ingest that, then you get ill.
Yeah. And I think a lot of illness comes from not
Forgiving.
forgiving and not digesting
Digesting.
and not accepting, okay, this crap happened, it was really really bad and it really really sucked and I feel really really horrible, and then take a few breaths and go, yep, I still feel it, but tomorrow I'm going to be better.
And we call it in Hawaii, we call it ho'oponopono.
Is that what that is?
Making right whatever is wrong in your
Oh, I
life.
gotta write that one down.
Ho'oponopono. 4 simple lines. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. I love you.
That is the
Thank
thing.
you.
Oh, and that is one of the
No
things
matter
that I,
who or what you're dealing with. It's called I ho'oponopono.
I hope
When somebody come up in your face and they're coming through your mind, they don't like you, you don't like them. There's friction.
Mm-hmm.
Please forgive me. I'm sorry. I love you. Thank you. To yourself for what your experience is, you know. And by forgiving yourself, you forgive that person.
Right.
And that's a great way. If you're at odds ends and nothing works, just say it over and over and over. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. I love you. Thank you. Dr. Hugh Land healed a whole criminally insane unit of 400 people without even seeing them by repeating these phrases. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. I love you. Thank you. He'd take out one patient's name every day and just do it. Never met them. Never confronted them. They had 400 people in there. Within 4 years, they were all healed. And they said these people can never be healed.
Wow.
And he never saw one of them.
So remember that. You can do that for yourself too.
And if you want to research Ho'oponopono, well, Morna Simeona is the original, and it's very hard to get any books or literature through Morna Simeona. And so the person who's kind of taken it up in our day and age is Dr. Hugh Lim and Zero Limits. You could learn all about Ho'oponopono. So.
Zero Limits.
Yeah, by Dr. Hugh Lim.
That sounds amazing. And so that's where we're at now with our time just about. So you're not doing the nursing anymore?
Well, I don't know, like people, when you put nursing, then they think you come in with some degree. I studied nursing, and I studied all types of alternative nursing, and so I do have a medical background as far as, you know, I
That's
took,
good.
yeah, understanding. So that's what I was saying
Boundaries
early.
and stuff.
Yeah, someone comes in and they have the symptoms of, you know, having a heart attack or something, you're going to send them to the doctor. You're not going to try to play God and heal them. You could offer your healing and see what happens. But how many times I've told people, you need to go to the doctor or you need surgery even. I mean, they can save you. It's gotten to that point, you know. Yeah.
And usually that's probably when people start looking for help, when it's almost too late.
Yeah, that was,
You know,
that's
a lot of that
it too. And not to be able to afraid to say, get to a hospital now.
Yeah.
You know?
I've told people that too, that I'm not sure what's
Right.
wrong, but there's
Yeah.
something over in this
This
area,
area.
and
They'll call back and say my gallbladder exploded yesterday. You were on the spot, right?
Well, because I'm not a medical doctor and I don't know my medical terms. Joanne did give me a book on it, a coloring book on medical terms. It's great.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm glad to have all that medical knowledge and studying anatomy and physiology and things
That
like
would
that.
help.
You know, and working as a nurse aide, like I did, you do get to see a lot and deal with a lot, and you do learn about both ways. So I'm happy that I had that experience.
I think it's
couldn't.
helpful.
I wanted to be a doctor, but I couldn't do math, and I believe the divine had that set up so I could do what I do.
Well, you are a doctor.
Yeah, my own kind. Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
and a reverend.
Yeah, and a reverend.
Yes,
yeah.
so you can do marriages and stuff like
Yes.
that. So if somebody wants to come and
There you go. A
get
lot of
married
people
and-
do come from Canada to Hawaii and get married.
yeah, that would be
Yeah.
neat. If I ever
Do it
thought
again.
about doing that again.
Never say never.
Ever. I said ever, not never. I said ever. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I think we're getting close to my time. So I'm just going to thank you again so much for being here.
Much. I appreciate
And I will be at the Handmade Market on June 30th. That's not this weekend, but the weekend coming up, from I think it's 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And I will be Debbz Den there. I will be doing readings and healings and working with crystals. I might have a workshop, I'm not sure. And then the week after that, I will be in Claire's home for Canada Day on the 1st. And then the week after that, I will be in Barron's for the sports days, and we'll see how that goes. That'll be also from 10 till 3. I'll be doing readings. So lots of things going on in the summer. We've got a whole bunch of stuff coming up on Just FM. Next week, I'm hoping to have, Thursday is National Aboriginal Day.
Nice.
And I'm hoping to have a guest in and do some songs and do a little bit of teaching on Aboriginal belief systems. Because I think that vibration needs to be lifted. I think people need to respect the native culture and respect that, their ideas are here to help the planet, not blow up the planet.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious to see what they have to say, and I'm going to have them in next week. And I have a whole list of all kinds of exciting guests coming up in the next few weeks. So remember to tune in on Thursdays to Just FM, debbzdenjune.ca. We are live on TV, Just TV. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. And today we are here in the lovely city of Lethbridge. And we're just enjoying hopefully a little bit of rain, get some moisture going on here. And it's also Mars retrograde today. So if you're feeling a little bit on the slow side, like things might be coming to a screeching halt and you're not sure what's going on, nervously, you don't feel like doing anything, you just want to stand still. And if anybody bothers you, you don't feel like doing it, that could be Mars. We also had the new moon, so we have a whole new ball of energy coming in, and it comes in with Mars retrograde. And Mars is kind of the god of war planet. So remember to be kind to people, and if you're feeling a little bit more anxiety or a little bit more tired than regular, that's okay, it'll pass. It's just the energy from the planets that are affecting us right now. So keep your head clear, keep your head above in the light, and stay happy, choose to be happy. And thanks again for joining us on Just FM, and thanks for tuning into Debbz Den. Now, I guess I do have 1 minute that I can do a quick meditation, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go right
Okay.
ahead.
So first thing we're going to do, we are working on the throat chakra. We're going to just have a quick 1 minute meditation, and I'm just going to have you take a deep breath in, hold it for 4, exhale for 4. Now we're going to take this deep breath in. We're going to go way up to the top of the planet, through the planet, and we're going to open up a little light post, and with that little hole of light that's punched into the atmosphere, we're going to have that light come now pouring right down to us, coming right down, going through red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Taking a deep breath as we clear that energy in the blue throat chakra, now going through your jaws, through your third eye with the purple, moving now up into your clear top of your head where you have your crown chakra, that we're putting the brightest light now, putting in a magnificent light so that you can see where you need to go and where you need to focus. Taking a deep breath, we're just going to bring in now this little blue light coming in through us, through our crown, through our throat, coming through into our throat chakra. And I'm just going to have this beautiful blue light, just the beautiful crystal blue energy, and it's a little fan that's right in front of your throat. And I'm just going to have Archangel Michael come around now, and he's just going to spin that fan in a clockwise. And we're just going to cut down with Michael's swords anything that's not serving you in your voice. So anything that you have said to hurt somebody, we're cutting that off and forgiving them. Anything that anybody has said to you also, and you're carrying their burdens, we're cutting that off your shoulder, and we're clearing that energy right now. Taking a deep breath, I want you to see this beautiful blue light in front of you. We're going to fill it with love and light and generosity and kindness and knowledge and every bit of positive light energy, everything that's positive that's meant for you. Communication. We're clearing your communication so that you can communicate clearly with your friends and family and co-workers and even those just driving by. We're going to take this gift from the angels of purity and light and love, and we're just going to pull it into our throat chakra right now. So just use both hands and just pull that little ball of blue light into your throat. Take a deep breath and thank the angels. I'm going to have Archangel Michael now just do that one more sweep around your body and just connect anything that's not serving you from all of your chakras. I'm going to have Archangel Raphael now just come in and stand behind you and put his arms on your shoulders and let you know things are going to be okay. And he's just going to pull in that energy, pulling it in now through your crown, your third eye, your throat, having this energy spinning perfect balls, spinning within, a bright green, emerald green spinning in your solar plex, a bright yellow spinning perfectly in your sacral energy, a big bright juicy orange fan squirting and just filling you up with creativity and beautiful energy, and then working into your root chakra and balancing that energy that we brought up from heaven. Now we're going to keep on going straight down through our legs, grounding our legs, going through our knees, our thighs, our ankles, our feet, the arches of our feet, through our toes and down into the ground. And as we were 3 miles up, we're going to go 3 miles down. As high as we were, the same as above, the same as below. We're connecting you now to the Mother Earth. There's 4 big boulders there. I want you to wrap your energy around. And anytime you have negative energy, just shoot that energy down to those boulders and let Mother Nature deal with it, as she'll take all of that negative energy, put it into the river and turn it into positive energy and water the flowers. Now that your spirit is connected to the earth, we're just going to come up. I'm going to have you come right back on up, coming now through the ground, through the floor, and up into your body, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, white, and then once more swirling around and circling right into your throat chakra and just healing that energy, healing your breathing, healing your confidence and your light and your love. Taking a deep breath and exhale and just say, thanks, angels. Okay, thank you again for coming on to Jess FM. Thanks for holding on to the end. And please, if you've made it this far, please like and subscribe to our channel. And have a great day. Was there anything else you'd like to say?
Oh, thank you, everybody.
And-
Honored for this experience. Look forward to hearing and seeing everyone in the future.
Yes, and welcome back to Canada. And it's always good to
Thank
see you here.
you.
Looking
You
forward
bet.
to it. Okay, thanks. Have a nice day.
Aloha.